So when we teach these classes, we put you in the direction of all of these federal regulatory bodies, the FTC, the HUD. When you're dealing with real estate, you have the Housing Urban Development. They're there to support you, the Housing Association, the FHA, Federal Housing Association, right? You have the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, who regulates national banks. Now here's the thing, here's the kicker. National banks are not allowed to lend you any money. When somebody wants a loan, they go to a national bank. They go to Bank of America. They go to Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo and Bank of America and Chase will tell you, oh, we're lending you money. They've just committed a crime by telling you that. There are laws, Truth in Lending Act, where they have to disclose to you the truth. That's what truth in lending means. Tell me the truth while you're lending me money. Now, this is a situation. They're not actually lending you any money. They're not allowed to lend any money from their stock or from the stock of their customers. So where is the money coming from? Do you know where the money comes from? The taxpayers. So if you've been paying tax all your life and then you lost your job and, the tax, the bailout should have been given to the people, not to the banks. But they stole your money again and again and again. And then when the banks got into trouble for stealing your money and predatory lending, the government said, well, okay, for your loss, here's some money to get you out of, your hoodwinking of the people for all these years has failed now because, the snake bites its tail. But when the snake bit its tail, it got bailed out. And now the foreclosure phenomena is sweeping across the nation, not just this nation. The British are here. The British are here. And, the credit crunch and, the mortgage foreclosure phenomena is sweeping Europe too, because the corporations are destroying nations through the ignorance of the people. So, you have no civil rights. You do not have any rights unless you assert your rights. And you cannot assert your rights. Right. You cannot assert your rights until you know your rights. Now, we all live in Georgia. We're all residents and domiciles of Georgia. But how many of us know the Georgia Constitution or OCGA, the official code of Georgia annotated? How many of us know a title within OCGA? These are the things that govern our lives. There's two laws that are constant throughout the United States of America. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, and the UCCs. How many people know those? Very few. And those very few that actually know them, that's the 1% that controls 99% of the wealth. So it's our duty not to rely upon the government to help us out. All right, they have to do what they say they're going to do, or else we get rid of them. But there's also our duties to have our civic responsibilities and our civic duties to know laws so that we can find out where our government is letting us down. Yes, sir. So we can tell them, you're letting us down here, you're letting us down there. These judges, especially magistrate judges, if we want to call them judges, they're part of the corporate foreclosure mill. They'll get you in and out of there. There's one judge, and I'm looking towards Latif. Should I mention his name or shouldn't I? Don't do it yet. I won't do it yet. But he told a homeowner in court who tried to transfer his case out of the Kangaroo Magistrate Court into Superior, where all cases of land title are supposed to be held in Superior Court. He told him, you're not going to win, right? You're going to lose, right? This is a judge who is supposed to be a referee between two sides. But he's deterring somebody from asserting their rights by telling them, you know you're going to lose, right? And he told him 3 times. And the reason why these magistrate judges do these things is because there's no recording in magistrate's court. A magistrate's court is not, the civil procedure has been suspended in magistrate's courts. You're not going to get no due process in a magistrate's court. Yet that's where they send homeowners who have failed to pay their mortgages and have been foreclosed upon. That's where they send you to supposedly have a fair trial. A trial without jury, a trial in a court without equity, without record. How do you stand a chance? These magistrate judges are in there condemning people to a life of indigence. And this is the bad thing about it, is that the politicians know, the congressmen know, the police, the sheriff's department, they all know, but they're not arresting the magistrate judges. They're arresting the grabers. They're arresting citizens, the community. So there's something fundamentally wrong with that. But we have to get out of ignorance. Ignorance and know what we're up against. So our thing is to get everybody into the education of all the regulatory bodies. So you don't even have to go to a court of law to discharge your mortgage. And to find, and to attack a bank or a financial institution that has defrauded you, you can go to the regulatory bodies and say, FTC, look at this here. I have a claim against this bank. They've defrauded me. And it's the FTC. The FTC will drool at the mouth. All right, bring it. But we have to know that they are there. We have to know that HUD is there. We have to know that the OCC and the OTS are there to protect our rights, to protect the consumer, the so-called debtors. Because with your signature, you become the creditor. You are paying the banks with a signature. But they don't tell you that. Now, I'm not going to give it all away. I'm not going to, we had one of our nationals in front of a superior court judge, and he said, banks are not allowed to lend money. And the judge said, excuse me, by whose authority are you stating that banks, national banks, cannot lend anybody any money? He said, by the National Bank Act. Now, this is something that anybody watching this, go and look up the National Bank Act, and you're going to be surprised, shocked, and then you're going to be disgusted of what's going on. So in closing, because I know time is of the essence here, education, education, education. Thank you.